Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Jaydee once again for another episode of our daily stock market insights. And in this video, I am going to focus my discussion on, as you can see here on our screen, I will talk about Raslag. So I think I forgot the name of the person who requested this, and as promised last night, I already did my research and created a simple slide for you all. So I hope you like it, and let me know your thoughts as well because this is just my personal evaluation and analysis, and I am not a financial advisor. This is just me, my personal evaluation on the company based on my research. Okay, so by the way, for those people who are watching this video for the very first time, I am Miss Jaydee. I do review stocks in the Philippine market, US market, and sometimes when you request things like this, I also do my research and share it to you guys. So feel free to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated. Okay, so the topic today is Raslag, and we all know that they are scheduled to do IPO, right? And I just want to quickly discuss who is Raslag. So, Raslag is a Pampanga based renewable energy developer. They specialize in solar energy development in the region, and this was founded by Peter Nepomuceno and the Nepomuceno family in Angeles City, Pampanga, and Conrado de Pejo. I cannot, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but this is again another company to be listed in the Philippine market under the renewable energy sector. And if you notice, a lot of companies of the same nature are starting to create some noise the past few years, right? Because the direction overall, not just in the Philippines, but even in the US and globally, by year 2050, their vision is for renewable energy to be providing 50% of the world's energy needs. So I think we're on our way there, and this is the beginning. Okay, and right below here you will see the three stages of how they operate their business. So I've labeled it the develop, the construct, and the operate phase. So what happens in the develop phase? So here, as early as develop phase, they are very particular with the purchasing piece, meaning purchasing of the land, because they have high requirements here. They have to make sure that the land has access to the NGCP lines and facilities. So go ahead and do your research. Who is NGCP? Um, they're also in charge of doing analysis and doing feasibility studies, like how viable and how profitable um, the area is in providing their needs, and of course overall to the main revenue of the company, technical design, and then of course project management. Here they want to make sure that the schedules and the implementation are well planned out, so that later on during the construct phase, they could easily monitor the execution of the plan, right? So having said that, the main focus of the construct is just really to execute the plan, and to make sure that quality control is being executed, and continuous updating and monitoring of the project timeline is met, right? And they also prepare, during this phase they prepare the commissioning and factory acceptance test prior to commercial operations. And here, on the last stage is of course the operation side. They want to make sure that the operation is done correctly, monitoring quality control and continuous innovation. Now, so my personal take on this is that, well, I just watched one of the interviews of the CEO of Peter Nepomuceno. um, the renewable energy sector is one commodity that will really uh, in terms of the demand, okay, the demand will just continue to grow. It will never decline. At the same time, the supply will never, will never run out of supply, because this is nature. This is the solar, energy that we're talking about. So, you'll notice later on that even with a pandemic, the revenue of the company was not that much affected. But on this slide, I just want to quickly mention that um, from before this IPO, the company is already fully operational. They have Raslag 1, Raslag 2, and just the background. So Raslag 1 has 10 megawatt, uh, 13 megawatt for Raslag 2. And this May, they started their operation, because during that interview, I think that was prior to May, they were forecasting for Raslag 3 to operate by May 2nd. And there wasn't any update on that. So I'm assuming they were on track in terms of live date. So Raslag 3 has 18 megawatt, and they were able to secure funding through bank loan here. Now, the objective of the IPO is really to fund Raslag 3, Raslag 4, and Raslag 5. That's 35 megawatt and 16 megawatt. Okay, so that this slide alone will give you let's say, will give you an understanding that the company is already generating revenue because of the first two. And as the CEO mentioned in that interview that I watched, the Raslag 1 and 2 since 2016 has been generating an average of 115 million per year on net profit. So imagine if Raslag 3 is already operational, that means this will be added onto their revenue. And another thing that really caught my attention was when he said that Raslag 1 and 2 were awarded defeat rate. So I just do not know what the definition of defeat rate, but he just said that this gives them guaranteed income for 20 years, and they have 14 out of the 20 years, because that was approved from way back. To this year, they now will only have 14 years, so that's still 14 years remaining of guaranteed income. So I'm thinking that was from 6 years ago that they were granted a defeat rate. So 14 years to go, and imagine if Raslag 4 and 5 are already operational, and that means they could produce more energy, and then they could give that would increase their revenue. Okay, so that's a backstory. So you have uh, the facilities that they have. Now let's talk about historical performance. So based on, and this is also available on their website, the financial records. Just to go ahead and open one of the links there, you'll see that historically, for the past 5 years here, they have been profitable in terms of net profit and dividend. Okay, so their shareholders, they have been receiving dividend for the past years. So on that page, I was only able to see since 2019, but I don't have the 2018 revenue. But he also mentioned in the interview that they were already averaging 115 million. So that will already give us an idea as to what range the net income is. So here, 2018 to 2021. In terms of a dividend, let's talk about profit first. Imagine this. This was the height of the pandemic, right? And even during the pandemic, and we're still in the pandemic days, they're still generating this significant amount on revenue. And dividend, in terms of dividend, look at this. So the shareholders have been receiving dividend, and what the CEO mentioned in that interview is that they're projecting to give out 30 to 50% of the net revenue after tax, depending on of course, the board or the people behind will still have to calibrate and agree on the specific amount. But definitely, given the resources for one, and given or let us say the IPO will go successful, then they should be able to carry on with their plans for Raslag 4 and 5, and then further add more to the revenue. So that's the outlook of their historical performance. Now let's see, where will the funds go in that IPO. So for the target, so the IPO targets 805 million for 350 million shares, and the rate would be 2 pesos per share. And he quickly mentioned a breakdown as to where the funds will go. 51 million purchase. This is for the purchase of land, because they were granted installment. So this is part of it will. Wait 1 second. For the land, yeah. So 51 million to pay the land, 330 million to pay a portion of the R4 equity, 250 million for the development of R5, and 21 million for the other expenses. Okay, so those are the key highlights of Raslag that I have shared with you today. And now, my personal take here is that what really caught my attention here is when he said that they have a guaranteed income in the next 20 years. So, and they have 14 years left, and they're expanding. They will not use the funds just to pay debt. Here, this is for expansion that will really result in better revenue and cash flow for the company. And the bigger the revenue, of course, the expansion and the scalability of the project would be easier to achieve. And my take is, I personally like the business model. Renewable, I have one the renewable energy company in my portfolio, that's C-REIT. Uh, so far, I like it because it's a REIT and it's also into renewable energy. My first love was actually ASEN, but I was already able to take profit back then around the 7 peso level, and I find that it's already on the expensive side. So I am betting on these companies who are just technically in the startup section, but the business model, I find it really promising, and the rate, right? Imagine if we are able to enter around the 2 peso level, and in the future it will continue to increase its value. Of course, look at capital gains, look at the dividend returns that we'll have. Because my investment style is, I nowadays I like those REIT companies, solar energy sector, and those stocks that give out consistent dividends. So those are my bets in my portfolio nowadays. So I hope I was able to give insights here. And oh, by the way, I was not able to answer your question. If I am interested in investing, yeah, I already saw that in my COL account, and I think I will be uh, entering the IPO as well for Raslag. Of course, in terms of amount, something that's, I'm not a big player in the industry. I'm just a small time, retailer. So, but at least I have exposure. So that's my take there. I will be investing in this company. Okay, I hope I was able to enlighten you with some insightful information, and please do your research as well, so that you can sleep soundly at night. I always say this, so that you sleep soundly. You don't have to worry if it fluctuates, because you know that you're investing in the right company that your heart and mind desire. All right. So I Thank you guys, and watch my next video. I will do review the stocks in the Philippine market next. Okay, bye bye for now.